Thank you for the kind introductions, Janelle. My name is David Adeleye. It's been an honor to be the National Student Board Member for the past year. It's an honor to join this cast of speakers I admire from afar to celebrate this year's ACS Law School graduates. I am now a proud graduate of the Indiana University Maurer School of Law. Feels great to say that. There, I started as the ACS 1L representative, and I became the chapter president, and I eventually became the National Student Board Member. One of my fondest ACS memories is my first ACS student convention, when things were normal and in person. I had the opportunity to have a small group dinner with Judge Restrepo, you heard from earlier. The conversation we had at dinner stuck with me that night and throughout law school. Like a lot of my 1L peers, I was frustrated with the learning curve of law school and the hopeless feeling that things were spiraling out of control. Judge Restrepo reassured me that I was there for a reason and that I would make it. He was right. He told me that my unique experience and my background impacted the way I saw the law. So I should give people a little more grace who don't always see things my way. And last, he told me I should lift people up as I climbed. That table with Judge Restrepo was also filled with some of my ACS peers from across the country. It is no surprise that when you put a bunch of ACS student leaders together, that the conversation is going to be fun. Our dialogue over some great Italian food was filled with healthy debate about the trajectory of our country and our views on how we should approach critical reforms. At that moment, I knew I wasn't alone and our future was in great hands. I've met so many of you through the ACS network, and I'm looking forward to continuing our relationships in legal practice. We have work to do, but for now, let us relish in this moment. We did it. This feat is no small deal. We have surmounted so many obstacles these past 3 years. Seriously, good luck to the biographers and historians who are going to attempt to document the past 3 years. You can even try to conceptualize what a roller coaster has been by using your time in law school as a tape measure. Think back to your first cold call. Did you contemplate that a pandemic would shut down everyday life and make us adjust to a new format of learning? I didn't. But there's one thing that the pandemic did not shut down: our collective work. If the number of Zoom calls is not a testament to that, I don't know what is. And as the pandemic took, we showed our resolve of what we had to give. When a few elected officials attempted to take advantage of the pandemic to suppress votes, this network mobilized to ensure law students and lawyers were placed in voter protection programs across the country. We put on training so protesters were empowered to exercise their First Amendment rights during the protests that followed the untimely and tragic death of George Floyd. You all made sure to keep the public apprised of pertinent issues through writing numerous op-eds and letters to the editor. That's just to name a few. Simply put, when there was any topic that was affecting our democracy, I could expect to see action from this group. To my recent graduates, please do not let this zeal expire as you obtain your law degrees. Don't shy away from your purpose as a leader. You cemented it during your time in law school, and the nation needs us. The time couldn't be more urgent to take a hold of the steering wheel and navigate us closer to the promises that are enshrined in our Constitution. Our time as ACS gave us the tools that are necessary to facilitate this. I will always cherish my experience as an ACS leader. The tools I obtained will stick with me forever. In fact, ACS was a saving grace for me during law school. I had trouble grasping equal protection and due process throughout my time in law school. Not substantively, it's nothing a Quimby lecture couldn't handle, but those concepts in practice. I'm the son of a Nigerian immigrant mother who came to the United States for a better life for herself and for her future children. So I had difficulty sitting in class learning about equal protection when the former president was barring people from coming to the United States because of their race and the religion that they practice. If my family tried to come to the United States during that time, the success of starting a life here would have been unlikely. On top of my experience as a first-generation American, I experienced the duality of what it means to be a Black man in the United States and the sober reality of police brutality against people who look like me. So while I learned about due process, I couldn't help but think about the countless names of people who lost their lives to police brutality and never got their day in court. But in these moments of hopelessness, I'm always reminded by a quote from my former boss and favorite president of all time, Barack Obama. A constant mantra of his was, every day we use the tools we have to fight cynicism, unlock the possible, make life better for the American people and people around the world. And reflecting on my experience as a young staffer in his administration, I was no stranger to the cynicism that fueled gridlock and that blocked significant reforms that we try to get done. But the gridlock was never an excuse to accept defeat. We did what we had to do within the confines of the law, of course, to deliver essential services to people. Faced with similar circumstances in law school, I knew I had to act, and this network helped me do that. I authored pieces on the harmful immigration policies of the Trump administration. I appeared in national and state media to be a voice for the voiceless. I took advantage of professional opportunities to work on issues like immigration, police reform, and voter protection. And in between all of that, I even helped pass a police reform bill. You all have your own experience on how ACS has directly or indirectly impacted your time during your legal study. As we go from law students, interns, clerks, summer associates, to attorneys, judges, and elected officials, do not forget about the work that we did here. And if you get lost, I hope you will use the work you did as your North Star to set you back on the right path. I know it will not be business as usual with this crop of young leaders. The people who are trying to hinder the progress of our nation and block opportunity for all, they should be scared. I'm looking forward to seeing all the work you do in the future. And I hope you use this moment to enjoy yourselves before we all get deep into bar study. Thank you and congratulations again. It's been an honor.